Welcome to the Las Vegasville podcast, brought to you by Jump Studios, where we cover topics related to everything happening around Sin City, including the social media scene, food, and a whole lot more, with some of the best, most popular accounts around the city, and talk about their success in Vegas and beyond. I'm your host, Philip Zhang, aka Las Vegas Phil. Check me out on IG or TikTok. On with the show. Welcome to this week's show. For a majority of people, especially in Vegas, meeting a dateable or hookupable person is left to dating apps and social media over organic chance meetings. Plus, if you have a formidable number of followers, that also changes things because of DMs and people who recognize you in public. I think this is a super interesting topic, but honestly, I haven't dated since Mariah Carey's song We Belong Together was #1 back in 2005. Holy shit. So I want to chat with a great group about it while blind tasting some glazed donuts from some local Vegas shops. Without further ado, let me introduce the group. Over on my right, with over 40K on IG, 20K on TikTok, Samantha Souza at the Samantha Souza has made a career as both an influencer and a UGC creator for over a decade, coming from the entertainment world as working as a working actress and singer. From food, health, beauty, and travel, Samantha covers it all. She's also a legit Disney adult, putting out awesome, fun, and funny content, especially on TikTok. Samantha, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
Our next guest, to my far right, is also making her debut on the show and is the whole reason why this episode even happened, because she posted on Threads something along the lines of dating in Vegas is trash. She puts out super entertaining videos and turns on her Vegas gang to all the new spots around town, with over 42K on TikTok and 30K on IG. Welcome, Alyssa, a.k.a. Shalissa Eats, to the show.
Thank you.
And last but not least, she's been a frequent guest on the show, and I love having her on because I always learn something new, and I'll definitely learn something new today.
Goodness gracious.
Talia has been on an absolute tear on social, blowing up everywhere she posts, and she just smashed over 100K on IG with now over 113K. Congratulations.
Current. Wow, that was like today.
Yeah. And over 268K on TikTok. Welcome back, Talls, to the podcast.
Yay.
So let's just start off the bat. You did state, Alyssa, that Vegas dating is trash. Is it honestly trash?
Yes. I just don't really know where to start. There's just so many.
There's a lot of layers.
There's a lot of layers to it.
It all started with a thread, and here we are.
It's not just trash. It's the entire dumpster on fire.
Exactly.
I mean, it's really interesting. I lived in LA and New York prior to living in Vegas. I thought LA, New York, Vegas dating, I got this. I was not prepared for living in Vegas and how different dating is here in any sense.
So if you were to advise someone on preparation for dating in Vegas, what are some key points you would?
You guys can go first.
Well, just speaking to that, I was not cognizant, like fully, of how many people in the city at any given time, especially on dating apps, are only here for the weekend or a bachelor party or an event. And that's not something you deal with in LA and New York nearly as much. People are traveling, sure, and there's a lot of tourists, but there's so many people who live there. We're so much smaller as a city, as a community, that the majority of people in this city at any given time are only here for the weekend, I would say.
Right.
So you're constantly battling with, even if I did find the random gem on the dating app, they're here for their brother's bachelor party, and then they're going to be gone at the end of the weekend. And no offense to that, but that's just not my vibe. And that, to me, was something I just didn't put 1 + 1 = 2 in my brain when I thought about dating here.
Yeah, no, that's something that's really common, and something that I noticed too was just like people put in their bios Vegas local. Like that's how rare it is. Yeah, it's like so. Like, oh, okay, thank goodness. Like, you live here. Oh, and you're attractive. Like, bonus, you know?
Wait, you found one of those?
Maybe one in every 500.
Honestly.
That's true, though. There are a lot of that are visiting and not really here, just here for a good time.
Yeah, another thing I tend to run into is like industry people. You see them on the dating apps, and, they're surrounded by beautiful women, the bottle girls. The industry nightlife is like, you are like the epitome of attractiveness, because that's kind of what you have to be to work in the industry if we're gonna, be black and white about it. But it's just like when they're in that and they're used to it and they're like around a lot of like wealth and glamour and glitz and glam, they just see you kind of as disposable. And so like they could just be like, oh, like what are you doing? Because they're just so used to like instant gratification right then, right now, and then they're like, okay, you're old news. But like you just said, Vegas is a small community. I have seen a few people who have been in my DMs at events, and I look the other way because I'm like, you were in my messages just a couple weeks ago, and now I see you like cuddled up with some girl. It's interesting. It's very interesting.
So the host that has all the girls in their profile pic, isn't that stupid of them to do that in the first place? Isn't that a terrible profile pic?
You mean having a,
think.
like a
profile,
picture
right.
with other people, like other women in it?
Or anybody, to be honest.
This is a video that I've been like making over the last 3 months for TikTok, honestly, is like all the things that I see in dating apps that are like, why in the world did you think that would be a good idea? One is having other women in your photo that are super hot. I think that guys think it's flattering to them because they're like, look, I can pull this girl. And it's like, I know for a fact, A, that girl doesn't know you. You probably met her or she's a promo girl at a club or something. Or even if she is super hot and it's in the real world, what part of that is supposed to be attractive to me? It's just bizarre. It's a bizarre psychology move on their part. The other thing that I hate is when they post pictures with celebrities, thinking that that's like going to be really exciting for me viewing their profile. I just recently
never
saw
seen that.
somebody who had Taylor Swift in their profile. I screenshotted it because I'm accumulating all of these things. And I'm just like, either, and he claims that he's a songwriter in his like job description. And I'm like, so here's the options, right? You either think that I'm going to be super impressed and through dating you, maybe I'll get to meet Taylor Swift, in which case, A, I'm not somebody who's fazed by celebrity in general. I grew up in LA, so that doesn't really, and in Vegas, we're not really either, right? That's not going to impress me, but also like, do you really want me to be interested in you because you're friends with somebody else? And let's get real, your picture with Mark Wahlberg is because you went to some event here in Vegas. It's not because you're BFF with Mark Wahlberg. It just looks really desperate and weird. I don't understand guys' dating profiles, honestly. And also, I think that my tequila shot just hit.
Well, you know what's so funny? I actually, because you were talking about, oh, like posting with the celebrity and it's usually like a woman that, you know, whatever. Well, I see it as they're catering to the male gaze and not the female gaze. So like for the male gaze, if a dude were to see, oh my gosh, you have a picture with Taylor Swift, that's crazy, you know? But for a woman, we're like, okay, you have a picture with Taylor Swift. But the thing is, I realized that and I kind of used it to my advantage. Oh my gosh, I'm really outing myself. Phil, you're going to learn
What's
a
the
lot.
advantage?
I posted a picture with Shaq on mine. And
No, you didn't.
the amount of interaction I get is crazy.
That's smart though, because guys would be impressed by that.
They're
Girls
like,
are
no
not
way you know
impressed by
Shaq.
that.
I'm like, you're right. I don't know Shaq.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
But that leads to a story, yeah, and that just goes to show the difference in male-female mentality when it comes to that kind of stuff, for sure.
Absolutely. Because if I were to see someone posted up with like Jennifer Lawrence, I would be like, okay, well, I could never be Jennifer Lawrence. So nope, left.
Yeah, it's just weird to me. I don't know.
I haven't had a lot of celebrities, but lately I've had a lot of swingers.
Oh.
So
is that
it's
a
like-
specific app?
No,
I don't know. I don't know these things. So.
No.
no, it's been on Hinge
Yeah.
or what she would call it unhinged.
The
But
accuracy.
it'd be a picture as a couple, and they're just saying like, you know, we're looking for our special person.
Oh,
A unicorn.
that can happen.
Do you know what a unicorn is, Phil?
I mean, a rarity.
Well, yes, it's when like people are in a relationship and they're looking for a person who isn't in a relationship to join momentarily. A unicorn, rare.
Well, I think a lot of that is people coming into town for the weekend again, and it's a couple trying to like have their Vegas experience, and they're looking on the apps. So, I mean, I see that all the time here. Again, another thing that you would only see here: somebody taking up space on the app, and not necessarily in another city.
So let's talk about the apps in general. I mean, I know the most popular ones, but are you currently on apps, and which ones do you prefer over others?
I'm just on Hinge right now, but it has been very unhinged, so I might get off of it.
I say that every day. Every day.
You re-download it?
Yeah, I did the thing where I like didn't delete the app, but I put it somewhere else, thinking that if I made it harder to access, I wouldn't go there. No, I still swipe all the way over and find it in the folder or get bored. Yeah, I'm on Hinge and Bumble, not Tinder, because I feel like especially in Vegas, it's a certain type of thing that you're looking for, which I'm not looking for. No tea, no shade, but just not what I'm looking for. If I want that, I have people. But you know what I mean? Like,
We love that.
I mean,
period.
we all have a roster.
Of course, if you don't have a roster in Vegas, then I don't think you're a true local. Anyway, oh my gosh, my parents are going to hear this.
Correct.
Hi, Mom and Dad. Please don't watch this one. But I'm grown. I pay my own bills. It's okay.
Oh my God.
I have gone through my fair share of apps for sure. I go through different phases. Yeah, like every single app has its own different vibe. I even got on Raya. Do you know what Raya is?
Oh, yeah.
It's the famous one.
Yeah, it's the one where it's like exclusive and you have to like apply. And you pay money to be on that app, which is actually crazy.
No matter what?
Yeah, it's a subscription.
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
You
either.
need the connection, and then you need to pay.
Right. So you have to like, and the thing is, you don't have to be like known in any sort of community to be accepted. You just have to like make their guidelines, but they don't tell you what their guidelines are.
You found any inequality through Raya?
Oh, actually, that's so funny. So I can't talk about that.
Okay.
No.
Twice.
Right. 1, 2. But like the thing is, it's like known for people who are on Raya that you don't talk to each other. It's weird. You match and you only have a certain amount of time to say anything before the match goes away forever, and no one ever says anything.
Why?
I don't know. I wish I could tell you. Like out of the however many, I'm going to say maybe 2% have sent me a message. And I've sent a message before, never heard back. And it's become kind of like a funny little like hee hee ha ha joke in the bios of like, I'm just here to match and never speak to you. Like it's crazy. So what am I paying these $20 for? I'm going to get banned from Raya.
No, you're good. Don't get banned before you give me the referral code. Anyway.
Oh, I've definitely gotten requests of like, OMG, like, you know, refer me. I've gotten texts of like, can you refer my like, you know, like me on Raya?
Well, I mean, the thing is that happens on every app, though. Let's be
Yeah,
real. I
that's
can't
what
tell
I
you
was
how
gonna
many people I've matched with on Hinge who it just like, you've matched, and then I'm old school. I want the guy to make the first move, and it just sits like you're a match and they don't do anything. And that's so frustrating, which means that they're waiting for me to make the first move, which then is an indicator to me that they're not a good match for me, because if they're going to want me to do all the work all the time, this is the first indicator of that. But that happens on every app. It's so annoying.
Right. There's a common saying in like the dating, you know, world, if you're like, you know, like into men and men into women, like, you know, like a straight relationship, if he wanted to, he would. Or maybe not straight. You know what I mean? If he wanted to, he would. If they wanted to, they would. So if they wanted to reach out first, they would. You know? So if they're waiting for you to make the first move, that means they're probably not that into you. You know?
Correct. Or they have so many matches that they're lazy and they're waiting for you to do, oh, okay, this one actually wrote something. And now I'll respond, because it's just lazy. There's a plethora of choice that if you wait, somebody is bound to message you. And unfortunately, I think that's like kind of where we're at. Like, you and your wife are so cute. How did you
I
initiate?
wrote a letter. Put a stamp. No, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Okay.
It wasn't that
She had to
pre.
carry a pigeon and
Yeah, I mean, back when dating was going on, when I was single, it was you meet someone organically, you get their phone number, and you call them on a landline or leave a message on the answering machine.
right. There was no other choice but to have initiative.
Yeah.
Now people can add you on Instagram and like basically look at all your stuff all the time. And to all of us, and this is just social media in general, it feels like you're already interacting with them, even though you're not. So the impetus to do something isn't really there anymore. Whereas like back in the day prior to social, if you didn't call her up or make a plan, it didn't happen. And it's just totally different now. People have so much access to you that the impetus to like actually do something isn't really there.
So how do you get to the first date? How do you get to the meeting?
That's why I'm here to find out.
Honestly, a lot of the times recently for me, like they find out like, you know, that we're influencers and they get so, what's the word I'm looking for?
Intimidated?
Intimidated, yeah. They're so intimidated, so they don't want to make the plans. And then it just falls through and we never talk again. That's happened to me a lot. Yeah.
So the idea that you're more big time than them, bothers them.
Yeah, so I unlink, because you can link your Instagram profile to your Hinge profile. So I unlinked mine just for that reason.
Same.
Interesting.
I've gone through different phases of trying different things. So like in the beginning, I didn't talk about it like at all. And if people ask me, what do you do? I say, I'm in marketing because I am. And then like eventually we get to the stage of like, oh, well, what's your Instagram? Like, let's take it from there. Because the thing is, I'm not going to give you my number right off the bat. And so I give them my Instagram, and then I've even spoken with my friends like, should I make a fake like a secondary one where it's like more like just me and my close friends and whatever, so that I don't be perceived in like a different way, like for like me and not for what my job is or something. I haven't done that, just so you know. But yeah, it's definitely interesting, because then that's usually one of the first things they say, and if they don't bring it up, it's this kind of weird elephant in the room of like, should I address this, or do you address this, or like, do you just not care? Because that's okay too, but for me, like, it's just with this repeated pattern of like someone saying something, I just feel like that's where the conversation will naturally go. And so sometimes I get a positive reaction, but majority of the time it's mostly negative, actually.
It's so layered, yeah.
It's
I
very
mean,
layered.
it's funny. I started a secondary account to be just about me, because my initial account was like all about health and nutrition. I'm a certified nutritionist. And then I made like a personal one that was about everything else that I was interested in. Goddamn, because that one blew up more than the other one did. And I'm like, okay. And it's difficult. I try not to, like, I used to put, my authentic jobs. I'm an actor, a singer, and a content creator. Those are legitimately the ways that I make money. You put that in a bio and it makes you look like a poser, and then they don't respect you, and that's frustrating. So I used to put just nutritionist, which is probably the smallest job that I do in terms of what brings in the money, but it got a lot of different audience, a lot of different people matching with me, and it just goes to show how judgmental people can be on apps. And you're like, oh, you're an actor? And I'm like, no, I've literally made my living for like the last 20 years off of acting, but nobody takes anybody seriously when you say that, which is annoying, because I'm actually, as jovial as I've been here, I'm a fairly serious person. I take what I do very seriously, and to not be taken seriously because of a snap judgment, which is what we're all doing on apps. Let's be real.
Right.
I'm guilty of it myself. The things that I say no to off of an app are really kind of ridiculous. So we're all doing it. But what's really weird is when you do finally get to the first date on an app, and they have been following you on social, and they feel like they know you already, but I don't know you at all. Especially the guys who have like, I'm not active on social. Yeah. And you're like, okay. And I know nothing about you, and I'm starting off of zero on this date, but you know everything about me because you stalked my profile before the date. And so there's this inequity there, and that's always kind of hard to overcome, because they think they already know who you are, and you don't have an opportunity to show them who you actually are. Not to say that we're fake online, but it's going to be a certain perception, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's hard.
So how do we get to the first date?
So you swipe, is it swiping still, or
It depends on the app.
liking or whatever? A mutual, how does it work?
Yeah, it really depends on the app. So like with like Bumble and Tinder, you swipe. With Hinge, you can like a certain picture or like funny thing they said. On Raya, it's like a heart or an X. You don't swipe. And so yeah, so you guys match with each other. Say the other person reaches out. You make conversation, talk about how's your day going? Oh, what do you
my
do?
God.
Oh, what do you like to do for
How's
fun?
your day going?
That's what we're saying. We're over it. What are you doing?
Right.
How are you? Like, respond to something
How's
in
your
the
week?
prompts.
Yeah, like they're or it's just hey, cool, nice. That's what they say. Like if I'm like, how's your day going? Good. Not even a how about you. It's just good. Okay, great. What do you like to do for fun? I just like to chill. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It makes me cry every time. And then I'm just like, oh, well, that's fun. I went out to eat with my friends, and like maybe I'm going to go to the farmer's market tomorrow. Nice. Oh,
Is it? Is
and then
it?
I gave you enough chances. I gave you way too many chances. Whatever. And then maybe they'll message me again. Maybe. And they'll just be like, what are you doing this weekend? I don't know enough about you to go out with you. But if I have someone that gives the effort of like, I like to do this, I do this, this type of stuff where they give me that energy and they ask me out, like, oh, we should, like, so we both like tacos. Oh, I know this great taco place. We should go sometime. Okay, great. And then we'll plan it and then we'll go. That's usually how it happens in my experience.
I also think I don't know about you guys, but I utilize voice prompts and voice messaging. So I usually initiate it if they do the opener, or if I do the opener, either way. After the initial opener, I'll switch to voice memo, and I feel like that takes it to another level really quickly, because they're not used to it either, because most people don't do it.
Right.
And it gives you a way better sense of who someone is, because if you were to meet somebody in the real world, you immediately know like if you vibe or not by like, hey, I think you're really cool or whatever, and it's either a vibe, but you don't have that same benefit online. A hey from somebody you meet in person can be very effective versus hey when it's just a text. So I feel like saying, hey, like how was your weekend is really different than reading, hey, how was your weekend? Because you have a sense of who that person is.
It personifies you.
But what I hate is when I go through the effort of sending a voice memo and they always text back. And I'm like, I'll do that for a couple times. But then after a while, I'll be like, okay, and then the next answer, you need to reply by a voice memo. Okay, bye. And I feel like those are the ones that I'm more likely to be interested in taking to the real world because I have a better sense of who they are a lot faster. So that's just my little tip. Usually if you send one, they give one back. Works really well.
I haven't sent voice memos.
Try it.
Yeah.
Try it.
You should
good
try it.
tip.
I have a friend when she also does voice memos and she has like a really good voice and she knows it. And she's like, I turn on my sexy voice. And then she's played one for me. It sounds like she's like a smooth jazz radio station host. I was like, girl, what that is not what you sound like right now, but I love this for you and it works.
Yeah.
It works. So
I do voiceover, so I'll go into my voiceover voice. And I'll just be like,
wait, can you do one for us right now?
yeah, I'll be like, hey, so I'm watching Love is Blind right now, and I'm really a fan of this particular person, but oh my gosh, Chelsea, I can't handle her. What do you think?
Chelsea
And they'll just be like, your voice is amazing. And I'm like, so anyway, what are you doing tomorrow? And it's effective.
Are you
And
learning, Phil?
You
I
don't
am.
have to have a
I
good
am.
voice though. I think that you can have like a. Sometimes I'll just be laughing and like even just ending whatever you're saying with like a is engaging. And if they hate your laugh, then at least you know right away. You know what I mean?
See yourself out right there.
Correct. And I know when it comes to like the social thing, sometimes I try to stay away from it because I do have a lot of Disney adult content on my page. And if they're not about that, I'd rather know now. You know what I mean? Because that's not going away. So, and that's part of me. But I do try to like establish this part of me first. And then we can go into the other part. You know what I mean? But,
I love that.
yeah, it's a good trick. It's not a trick. It just shows a different aspect of you, you know?
Maybe that'd be cool for an app to just do solely voice, right?
Interesting.
Over text.
Oh, that's like an actually brilliant idea.
That would be cool.
Make the app.
No, but like that's actually legit really smart because I think when it comes to texting and people going on apps all the time, it's something you do in the background while watching Netflix and you're just responding to your messages. I mean, that's not what it is for me. I don't know. And if I had to take the time to send a voice memo, we'd get somewhere a lot faster, I think. Right?
On to something.
Yeah.
Well,
oh my
if you're
gosh.
onto something.
That's a great idea. Let's get into. I want to get into social media a bit, just like what it's like for you guys in the DMs. But let's start with the first donut.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot.
Yeah,
I know.
we have glazed donuts here.
All right.
All local spots. And
Ooh, so like I honestly I'm not super well versed in the donut
Space.
world in Vegas, so I'm excited.
yeah.
I only know of two.
Oh, really?
Do you know who I'm talking about?
I know. I think I know.
Oh, they're donut holes.
There's
So-
holes and biggies.
Well, you don't have to eat the whole thing, but yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Should I grab a hole or a
Balls
donut hole?
first. Oh.
Okay.
Maybe-
We should have just gotten donut
That's
holes
a different
from each one.
podcast, okay?
Whatever. We live and we
All right,
learn.
I'm gonna
Tyler, hope you like donuts.
go through the whole thing. My wife is actually very jealous that we're doing this glazed donut one, so she can have them all.
Sorry, Ayumi.
Before we bite, favorite donut or favorite type of donut?
I love a traditional glaze, honestly. A yeast donut is always my favorite, usually.
Yeah. Krispy Kreme when the red light is on.
Ooh, see? Yeah.
Probably the
hot.
best.
It depends on my mood. It's glazed is always great. Sometimes I like a chocolate ice. Sometimes I like sprinkled. Don't know why. And then sometimes I like an old fashioned. I didn't
It
start
has to
liking
be the
old-
right old-fashioned.
Yeah, like it has to be like from a good place. But yeah, I'll opt for an old fashioned sometimes.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice. But yeah, we chose glazed because it's the base. It's the margarita pizza donuts. And basically anything that they frost over it, it'll just make the donut better. So yeah, we'll take a bite and we're going to rank them and reveal them after.
Okay.
If anyone has an opinion, you can share that or we can just go to the next topic.
I feel like I need a second one to like compare to have an opinion.
Okay. All right. So that was A. Just keep it in your head.
Let me write that down.
I'm gonna I'll
Taking
mark
my
it off. We have paper towels in case you have any sticky residue.
Also, I see that you upgraded your laptop.
I did.
I love this for you.
Thanks. I got a car and a laptop.
Yes, you
what,
did.
What is going on?
Big baller. Oh my goodness. Okay. My score may change depending on the next donuts we try.
Absolutely.
I know, it just depends.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
So all you guys have affordable followings on IG and TikTok. What are the DMs, incoming DMs like with guys? Can it ever turn into a date? Has it?
I've gone on one date.
Okay.
But like, yeah, it was just one, and like I made it clear that I wasn't like looking for anything, but he was like, we can go out for a nice dinner, like my treat, and that's all it was.
Okay, so you guys haven't like spoken again? Like another date didn't happen from it?
No,
Did something? Was it just like, were you not into him?
no, I wasn't interested at all.
Oh, but he was just like, let me take you out, and you were like, I'll bite. Let's see. And then it's just like, not.
So you weren't even like intrigued?
Like interested?
Yeah.
No,
How long ago was this?
this was like 2 months ago.
Oh, okay.
I think I remember this.
Yeah,
You went to a Brazilian.
we
Okay.
did.
Oh my gosh, Phil.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
No, like, because Alyssa sends me screenshots of Hinge profiles, and she's like, OMG. And I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. Like, these people, I don't know why you choose the pictures. Sometimes you do. We can do a whole podcast on analyzing men's profiles.
I've thought about doing a series about that, like things that I see, like, I mean, like I said, like I'm doing that series of things that I see that are like, why would you do that? The amount of AI generated photos I'm seeing,
Shit.
Yeah, it's becoming more and more popular.
and I'm just like, but they're so, they look cartoonish.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is AI generated, correct? I recently called somebody out who has no business using an AI generated profile because he's so hot naturally. I'm like, why are 3 of your 5 pictures AI generated photos? Do you not have somebody to take photos of you? I'll help you. Like, we can't have this.
Insecurity.
Right.
But this guy is objectively, empirically attractive. There's no reason. It doesn't make sense. Again, it points to laziness. You know what I mean? And that's not cute. I don't know.
So have you gone out with a follower or someone that slid in the DMs? Sounds like
What I'm about to say is probably going to get me in trouble with the people who follow me. I cannot picture myself being interested in somebody who views me like a fan. I want somebody who's my equal or somebody who I can look up to. And it's not to say that they aren't that person, but inherently with the approach and the vibe, they're already kind of putting you on a pedestal that I'm not positive I can live up to, nor do I really want to, nor do I want that dynamic to be what it is. So I'm immediately kind of put off by the idea in the first place. However, if somebody was like piquing my interest and seemed super what I'm looking for, then it's possible. I just don't find that to be kind of the case usually. But yeah, it's the dynamic is off. I don't know.
No,
Interesting.
I do agree with that. I have conversed with people that have DM'd me, but it's never really gone to a date because it's always gotten into a weird point of, well, I don't know where to take you because I make food content. They're like, I don't know where to take you because I don't want to mess up. And I'm like, to me, that annoys me more than you like picking a place and it's bad because at least we tried somewhere new and we both didn't like it. And that's okay. Like, I'm not going to like write you off because we went to a crappy restaurant. That's not on you. That's on the restaurant. So it's just like this. And like you said, like kind of like a pedestal thing. I don't like to think of myself like that, but like other people would see the numbers and then they put you up like that.
No,
and
it's them, not
yeah.
you. Yeah.
And so it's just like, it's a weird dynamic because you're right. Like, I want someone that's like at my level or even above just so that we could have this thing where we like grow with each other type of deal. And so, yeah, I've never gone on a date with someone, but like, am I opposed to it? I'm not going to say like, absolutely not, because you never know.
Yeah, it
what
could happen, for
Like,
sure.
but I have like responded to people, and so far there have not been any results.
You know what I will say is the outlier is if it's another content creator who
Right.
messages you, because then again you feel like, oh, you get it, we're on similar footing, not from like a social status standpoint, but more from like you get what I do standpoint, and neither one of us is idolizing the other one for any weird reason because there's no reason to. But when they make you feel like that, it's kind of bizarre. I imagine it's the same for anybody in like a public job, like a musical artist or performer or whatever. It's like, oh, I come to your shows and I look at you this certain way. It's like, I don't want that to be where we start. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's already uneven. So I don't know.
Yeah, a fellow content creator would be like I wouldn't say ideal, but it would make more sense.
I would. I mean, it's so convenient because they get the whole filming things too. Like whenever I'm out filming content, it's like I become friends with other content creators because we all understand, hey, I just have to film this thing real quick. When I'm hanging out with friends who are not doing that, they are like, oh, she's filming it again. And I'm like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just is what it is. So if people get it, that's also another part of it. It's
Right, it's a
like,
perk, for sure.
You know, it's part of the compatibility factor.
Alyssa, what do you think about that? Does being a content creator help when they DM you?
I mean, I kind of agree what both of them said. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to, actually talking to someone. It just depends.
Yeah.
Depends on, like, the compatibility and whatnot. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get down to the first date. What's the choice? What's the best place for the first date?
Depends on the kind of person you are. I'm not a hiking girly, but maybe some people are, and that's great for them. I'm so happy for you. Not me, though.
Pass. Pass.
6
Same.
a.m. Red Rock
Oh
Canyon.
my gosh, that is a left from me. That is a no thank you. But like trying a new restaurant, that's fun for me. Like that's like genuinely what I find fun. That's what I was doing before I was even making content, was trying new restaurants. And so that's why I try to keep what I do out of the conversation, so that we can like kind of go in like no expectations or, oh, have you been here before type of deal. And so that's what I like to do that. And like say for like a second date, like if you want to come to the farmer's market, oh my gosh, that's like, that makes my heart sore.
I mean, I've had a lot of first dates at bars, to be honest. It's just because sometimes it's so formal for them to go to dinner and they're not like ready for that commitment.
So you think it's the guy that's not ready for the dinner commitment?
Yeah, because a lot of times they'll say a bar first.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, at least. I don't know about you guys.
I oscillate with this because for a while I was like, I don't want to commit to a whole dinner if I don't know if I like you, because usually within the first 5 minutes I can tell if I'm interested or not. So I used to do coffees, but then I was like, you know what? I'm getting ready and it takes just as long to do a coffee as it does to get a dinner. And at least with a dinner, I have more time to get to know you and more experience in like the real world and what it would really be like to like hang out with you for a longer evening. And worst case scenario, it's a friend and it's usually a good time. And usually I've vetted the situation enough that at least I know that we would be friends, even if we're not like into each other in that way. So I've switched to dinner only. So when people pitch or an activity or something, but not coffee and not a drink only. I'm also not a big drinker anyway, so I try not to do that in general. But if there's dinner and a drink, that's kind of different.
Right.
But I really love activity dates. I love things like axe throwing, mini golf, something where there's an activity, because it kind of helps break the ice, because you're not just staring at each other from across the table the whole time. There's like some like element of like doing something else. And it's always fun. Like,
Yeah.
I find like mini golf and like Area 15 is a good place.
It is a
Because there's
fantastic
so-
first date
If you
place.
want to take it to a second location, you can, but it's all in the same location.
Yes. Dinner, drinks,
Drinks, activities.
everything.
Well, that little zip line thing, like it's fun. So I that's like my go-to Vegas recommendation, because there's so many things in there all the time.
Yeah, for me, it's effort. If they're like, oh, just want to get a drink, to me, that's kind of like the first line of answer. And if that's what they say, I kind of like don't want to take it there, because it just shows that's just like their, oh, drinks, But if they're like, oh, there's this restaurant that I really like, for me, it shows that you put thought into it, that you think I would like it, or you want me to experience it and see what my thoughts are, because you care about what my thoughts are. So like even with that an activity of like, oh, they put some thought into it, or maybe they put the thought in the past and it's worked in the past, and so they're gonna do it. And you know what? I'll eat that up. I'll eat it up. But it's just more like, and also you can tell I can yap. So like I'm not scared if the date goes poorly, because I can always try to find something to make it work and like make it fun, because I'm gonna have fun regardless. Thank you for the meal, but I wouldn't go out with you again.
That's the hardest part, though. I mean, I love that you just said that, honestly, because I can relate to that so hard, and that it can come off as self-absorbed or conceited, and it's not that. It's just self-awareness that like you know how to have a good time. And sometimes I'll come home for a date and they'll be like, people ask me, did you have fun? And I'm like, yeah, because I was there. You know what I mean? Like, I know how to have fun. I can make it work with anybody. Like, I know how to have fun with anyone, but it doesn't mean that I'm attracted or there's a connection in maybe that other way. That's what I'm saying. It's like you don't lose anything by having a little bit longer of a date, because worst case scenario, it's like two friends hanging out, and that can be fun too. Right. What I really hate is when the date is almost too fancy. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but like a really expensive date or like a really, especially for a first date, sometimes that makes me feel a little anxiety. But
Definitely. Oh, for sure.
Where?
like I went to Partage on a first date once,
wow.
and some other places. I don't want to necessarily list them all out because they might still be watching my stuff. But like, and I have to be very clear, like, just so you know, I'm happy to go there, but like, this is still going to be a first date for me, and I don't even kiss on a first date. So you know, that can be, but like, kind of anxiety inducing because I kind of feel bad because if I don't feel any chemistry, then it's kind of hard to admit that after what you know was a very expensive first date. And it's like you feel bad because they're trying to impress you. And it's like, I am impressed, but I'm still not feeling it that way. But if people are just like a good meal and like a nice night out and we can both as friends enjoy that together, then cool. But I prefer not to do that because I feel like it puts unnecessary pressure on me. I don't know.
Right. No, I agree.
So someone says they want to take a Joe Robuchon, you're like, hold up.
No, I'm going.
I know. I am going. I will go to that. I will go to that.
But we have to establish this is still a first date.
Right.
I'll make sure you know that. I've had like very uncomfortable, like, just so you know, conversations. But no, we're going.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so we talk about a lot of first dates, very few second dates. So where does it go off the rails on the first date where you know nothing's happening?
Oh, like red flags, like icks and stuff. Oh, ooh. And also,
give me a
I just want to make this known. We did try to source a male perspective for this, but there is such a lack of single men in Las Vegas. We just want to make that known. Don't be like, oh, this is one-sided. So this is it from a female perspective, just so you know. Putting that out there right now before we get any comments, okay? Okay. Okay, so why is there not a second date? For me, I overanalyze. I will admit to that, but also I overanalyze because I don't want to waste my time. You know, we're all very busy people. Some of us have like other careers outside of, what we do here. And so I would rather spend my time growing myself than like trying to invest my time into somebody else that's not worth my time, So I look into everything, especially what kind of like eater they are. By that, I mean, like, are you a picky eater?
Yes.
I ask them, what kind of food do you like? What's your favorite kind of food? If they say something basic like chicken tenders, I will block you. I will block you. If you can't even handle a jalapeno, get out of my face. Because with what I do, I'm going to opt for you to be my plus one. So if you can't hang with the types of food that I eat and like am willing to eat, because I do try a lot of different foods with this job, then this isn't going to work out because this is a very big part of my life,
Yeah.
That's just me.
I mean, it's valid for sure.
I kind of had to piggy off of that story.
Please, Alyssa, please tell the story.
So on Hinge, there's prompts. And this one prompt that I put said, you should not go out with me if you're a picky eater. So, it's well known on there. We go on a date and we go bowling. And then, we're kind of, sorry. We're kind of talking and, I went to work. I haven't eaten all day. I'm like, oh, do you want to like get some French fries? And he was like, I don't eat after dark.
Oh, jeez.
I was like, wait, what? It's 6 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock.
I tried not to laugh, but it was so hard. I turned around and I was just like kind of giggling and I felt bad, but I was like, oh, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, it was just weird. Oh, and he was vegetarian.
And he was vegetarian.
That's my big thing.
Yeah.
If they are vegetarian or vegans on their profile, I don't care how everything else is. My favorite food of all time is steak, and it's not any disrespect to the lifestyle whatsoever. But like, I don't want to be judged. I literally have a steak almost every single day. Yeah.
Oh, can you?
It's good to be.
Nice. That sounds okay. She got money.
No. It's just I figure out a way to make it work because it's a priority for me. So I don't want to be judged for that, and also like I want to be able to go out to a place and know that we can share or be interested in the same foods, and that just sounds like a pain in the ass. I'm sorry, it just does. That's my only thing that I would be like, I don't even think I could get to a first date if it's on their profile like that.
You know what? That's so So this reminds me. One of my favorite questions to ask in a conversation is, "What's your in and out order?"
Ooh.
So I used to work at Steak and Shake, and I would take people's orders all day, every day, hundreds every single day. And I kind of learned what kind of person you are depending on what you order. So for me, it's kind of a personality test of like, okay, what do you got on your burger? If they say no pickles, you're basic. Okay, if you say no onions, you're basic. But if you say I get plain bun, cheese, I say you are insane and get out of my face.
Correct.
And so it's definitely, I even put it as like a prompt one time of like, what's your In-N-Out order? And it got a lot of interaction because dudes love to say, I get a 3x3 animal style, I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm feeling that,
You're
by the
cool.
way.
Please do. It's a
Absolutely.
it's a great way to like learn who someone is as a person without getting too invasive. And then you can talk about it. Oh, really? Well, why don't you get tomatoes? When I tried it when I was little, I'm like, oh, so you're stubborn. You know?
No, it's for real.
And it's most of the time, 9 out of 10 times, it rings true. They're like, I just tried it one time, I didn't like it. So I'm like, so wow, how old were you? Like 8? How old are you now? 25? Okay, how about we revisit that and see how you feel? You know, like it shows you're not very open-minded. And I'm open-minded, and I would like someone who is also open-minded.
No, I get that for sure. Are we allowed to curse on here?
Absolutely.
Okay. So I work at Magic Mike Live, and one of my really good friends over there is one of the bartenders, and she's the only female bartender. And she taught me this trick at In-N-Out that works every time. Okay. And if you get animal style fries, you ask for extra cheese and grilled onions and spread or whatever.
Right.
But she goes, you tell them is fuck me all the way up. And every time I pull up when I do that, they go, you sound so freaking cool. I didn't even charge you for the extra toppings and shit, because when you said that, I was like on board. And that's the kind of shit that, you know what I'm saying? The voice and how you talk says so much about you. And now every time I go to In-N-Out, which isn't all the time, but when I do, I always go, just listen, I want all the extra shit. Fuck me all the way up. And they go, and they do.
You should make a TikTok about that and see how much they give you.
my
I'm being,
God.
I would watch that. I would
try
I would interact. I would bookmark that.
I have to credit my friend. That is not Samantha
with her.
original. But now you guys can all try it and just get all the way fucked up, because they will treat you right.
If I wasn't
just
lactose
ask.
intolerant, I would do that.
Pop your pill.
Oh my God. You want to try another one?
Yeah. Fuck me medium all the way.
Light onions, but extra cheese.
Onions, yeah.
No, I want all the shit.
Just the
I
tip.
can't wait to try that.
Did you
Try
get
it.
boxes?
No.
It came like this.
Came like this.
Wow,
pretty
perceived
impressed.
value.
It's the only one that came in a box.
Okay, I'm gonna grab one. So the first thing I noticed, they're a little misshapen, but that's okay. I don't judge by that.
What it tells me is that it's like
It's
more
real. It's real. Is this
I
artisan?
got it. You're good.
Did you source this? Is this organic? Is this vegan? This is vegan.
I don't know if it's vegan.
No,
I
it's
feel like I
definitely
should have taken a whole one, because we're comparing a hole to a donut hole.
Do you
I'll
want
take
to?
one big bite.
Oh my God, if you're insisting. Yes. This is the old A, right? Is anybody
That
do you
was
want
A.
a split? Just
Oh,
to-
yeah, I got it.
I have
Every
high
try?
hopes for this, just based off of looks.
Oh,
alone.
see, I can already tell the texture is different.
The look is definitely better on this. It's a little more
Ooh,
tan.
yeah.
I just
Like
smelled
they
it.
put- Yeah, and the glaze is not.
She's a little bit more brown, which I like.
Wait, which one is that one?
That's the old A. That's what I was asking.
No, I had a ball.
Yeah. So instead of having a ball, just have a bite of.
Okay, ready?
I want it to disintegrate in my mouth. That's just me.
It's way cakier, but I can't decide if I like that better or worse.
Right.
That's the thing. Because I'm kind of here for it in a little bit. It's like a hybrid.
Like a Prius.
I only I only opt for usual yeast donuts, but like cake donuts, I have to be in a certain mood, like an old fashioned.
sorry.
And so for this, it's a little bit of both. So it's like, do I like this? Let me take one.
It's a
more
little
bite.
thick, like
I'll
with
take one too.
3 C's.
I'm kind of here for
That's
it, though. You
real
can't
thick.
decide what you want. It's like it's a perfect little in between. It depends on what you're after.
Oh my
And ain't that the topic of today?
Right. Okay.
How different will a second date be than a first? Are you way more excited? Obviously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You already know what to expect a little bit, at least. You have no idea what you're walking into on a first date.
Yeah, because sometimes they can not look how they are in their profiles.
Dang.
Okay. Are they using like a pic from like 10 years ago?
I've had that happen before.
Oh, definitely. There's a lot of people who use a lot of people use wedding pictures because it's the only professional pictures they ever took of themselves. They usually have pictures with women because when they say they dated someone, but they're not together anymore, but this is a decent full body picture of them, or a picture from 10 years ago when they were objectively attractive, and like say they are objectively attractive now, but they don't look like that, and that was like their quote unquote prime, or what they think is their prime. It's a little misleading. And so that's why I like to ask for the Instagram. And if they don't have any pictures up, that could be a red flag, that could be a green flag. It depends on the type of person you are.
Okay, I have a question. So if they don't have social media, is it a red flag?
I don't like it because I can't stalk and do the proper vetting. Like it's not necessarily a red flag, but it's a beige flag. Like,
Yes, it's a beige flag for sure. Like, because for me, let's see. Like, me and my friends make jokes of like, oh, I just need a man that doesn't exist on the internet. You know, like, because like in societal standards, it means that like other people aren't trying to like poach them, or like they're just like, oh, I'm so low key, I don't really care about all that stuff. And so as people who are in marketing or, you know, in content creation, we make jokes of like, oh, I just need someone that just doesn't exist on the internet. Like, I just need someone that no one knows is a person. And so I'm like partly in there, but then other times if I want to see more pictures of you and we aren't like on the comfortable basis of FaceTiming or like sending pictures to each other like that, I want to see what you look like. And I actually have a little story too. The first time my very, very first match being single in Vegas, him and I, we were making good conversation. Like, he was actually writing sentences, like, wow, the bare minimum. But I was like, hey, let's exchange Instagrams. Like, I was the one that suggested it because I wanted to see more pictures of him. The pictures of him on his profile were attractive. I just wanted to see more. And I was a little apprehensive because I've never given someone my Instagram and people have seen like my following. And so we followed each other. He didn't address it. That's fine. But I said, and this is exactly what I said, word for word. I said, why don't you have any pictures of you on your profile? No judgment. Literally, let me just say that. No judgment. He unmatched me, removed me as a follower, unfollowed me, no explanation. I was like, are you a catfish? Like, you know, what's up with that? So I said, I don't know why you like did all that, but have a good one. And then he proceeded to say, you two, I don't need followers to get women. I don't make money from Instagram. It doesn't serve me. You know, blah, 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 went off on me. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it made me feel like crap because I just wanted to see more pictures of him. And then I was just like, okay, proceeded to send me like 10 messages, you know, back to back. And I sent the screenshot to my friends like, is this normal? Because this was my first time dipping my toe back into the dating scene. And I got hit with negativity and like, I felt bad. And so then they're like, this is not normal. They're like, please don't take this as your first impression. This guy is weird. I'm like, okay. And then he has reoccurred again. And same thing. You'd have to pay me to be seen with you. I wouldn't want to know you anyway. Oh, I probably designed all the restaurants that you go to, so you're welcome. Like, it's...
and he's not blocked yet? The heck?
Like, he was, and then he blocked me. And then he unblocked me and proceeded to say more things.
No, goodbye.
And I was
You
like,
dodged a bullet.
Right. No, and so that was my first match ever.
That's crazy.
Well,
That is crazy.
okay, in the event that there are guys watching this who are single and trying to figure it out, what is on a profile that would make you go, yeah, I want to match with you?
I would love to know that.
That's why I asked it.
I mean, for me,
Just
like,
hyping you up, girl.
No, okay, I'll start. How about that? I love when guys have smiling photos. I don't know what it is about guys, but it's so rare to find like more than one smiling photo. And I don't know if guys think that they look hotter when they're like, but it makes you look angry or like doing the middle finger. I don't know why that is so popular.
Really?
Why would you think that a girl would be
That
into
seems
that?
like the most insane
Male
thing to
gaze.
do.
Again, male gaze. Or like every photo is a gym photo, a gym selfie.
oh my God.
Again, you can maybe get by with one, but like if that's your whole identity and that's all you want me to know about you, I'm bored. So I love when it's like a guy smiling, a guy with his dog smiling, or like a family photo and it's like very obviously your whole family. Like anything that exudes like you're a warm
Yeah.
person who enjoys their life, to me that automatically makes me interested. And what's really weird is that that's so rare.
Yes. I'd love to see them in different scenarios. So
Yeah.
say they enjoy climbing. I'd love to see them doing something in action, a picture, like you said, with their family, a picture of them smiling, probably like a full body photo, because also another thing is men lie. That is something that I've definitely learned, especially
But
about
so do
their
women.
height.
So do women, let's be clear.
For sure. Yeah. I'm not discounting us for, but I'm just saying, like, say they're 5'9". I'm not a person that cares about height, but say they're 5'9" and they say they're 6 foot. And then you meet them and you're like, You're not 6 foot. But okay, and it's like become a common joke on the internet of like, oh, when they say they're 6 foot and they show up and they're like 5'2".
That is a thing, though.
So I would like to see a full body, because that's something I've also like put into my profile of like, they can see me like in a nice outfit, me where I'm a little bit more dressed down, no makeup, one with my friends, something where I'm doing something I really enjoy, like a candid photo, like, you know, just so they can see different sides of me. And I would just like to see that of them as well.
The pictures are definitely like important for me too, but also like the prompts. Like I want to see that you're funny. 'cause,
Yeah.
you know,
I wanna see
I'm
some
a funny
personality.
person.
Yeah.
Some personality, something goofy. I just want to know that I can laugh with you.
Yeah. But don't you find that the people who have like the varying photos that look like they enjoy life tend to have interesting prompts? It's the people who are like in every photo that are like, just ask. And you're like, I won't. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. It's like a prompt that says one thing you should know about me, just ask. Oof. That's why the prompt's there.
Yeah.
And then can you set parameters on the type of guy and age range and height
Age
and
range,
all that
yeah. But not
Yeah.
really like other things. Like it depends. Or you have to pay for those filters.
Right. So there's a premium version of all apps. And so you can get like basic, and then you can also pay extra to see like more like, and like narrow down. Like you can, even on some apps, you can like narrow it down to like religion, height, I
Height. You can
believe,
do
like
height.
vicinity, whatever. Like you can really like, you know, weave like narrow it down.
The biggest thing is height, though. Like, do they think that we don't know our own height? Like, I know that I'm 5'5", so I know how relatively like tall 6 foot is to me. If I'm looking you dead in the eyes, I'm a smart girl. Like 1 + 1 = 2. I don't understand the whole point of the deception. And you almost always have to factor in 2 inches shorter than whatever is on the profile 90% of the time, because.
Wild.
But like, why?
Yeah.
What is that about?
Yeah, because they show up, you get kind of a distrust already.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
I don't understand it. Just be who you are. You know what I mean? I would respect that a lot more, for sure.
Absolutely.
Damn.
Phil, aren't you glad you're not in this?
I'm honestly glad I'm not this. So let's get into C
Okay.
while we're chatting. I think these ones are different.
Ooh.
So I went in there
Sure. All these-
and they only had one glazed donut left, but she would not let me leave the store
Really?
unless I purchased something.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Hold on.
It was weird. I don't know. I felt bad, and so I felt forced to go with the cruller-ish
Okay.
thing
Okay.
going on. So I'll just rip one top off. But this might affect.
Let's see. I know it could affect texture. It is spongier.
I'm gonna swap batteries so
Okay.
everyone thinks for a second.
Okay.
Spongier, but drier?
Staler.
Staler?
Did we all have the same one?
I've got the curly, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got less frosting on it, too.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So it's got less sweetness.
All right. Going back up.
Yeah, it kind of has like a white breadish feel.
100%. Like a Parker
Wonder
House
Bread?
roll or something.
Yeah. But not as good. To me. I don't know. What do you
I kind of like it.
That
Okay.
just goes to show you.
I'm a texture girly, so I don't know. I like this.
It does feel like a sweet, like Hawaiian roll kind of.
It's giving like Texas Roadhouse, but sweeter.
Correct. Exactly that vibe.
I've never been there.
I just went there for the first time like a couple weeks ago.
I would think that'd be a big first date if you're a steak lover.
Yeah, I'm open to it. Nobody's pitched that to me.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Is their steak good?
It's fine.
it's fine.
Oh, Texas
6 out of
Roadhouse?
10.
It's fine.
Oh wait, yeah, you made a whole video about it, right?
They got cheap drinks
Yeah,
though,
I did. People are heated about the A1 sauce.
and that you should never use it. And it
You
belongs
should
in the
never
trash.
use A1 sauce on good steak. I'm like, well, good news. It wasn't good steak. So we're good.
I didn't think that it was the best steak
Yeah.
in the world, to be honest with you. But the rolls were.
The rolls are, yeah. They're definitely dry.
And they're giant sweet teas. Unlimited refills. When I'm a quarter way through, they bring me a whole one. Okay, we are not talking about Texas Roadhouse right now.
But we will be going and having this weekly, just the three of us probably.
I'm down. I'm down.
I did see a lot of first dates. It felt like there was like they met on Christian Mingle or Farmers Only or something.
Oh, that
'cause
tracks.
It was like
Plenty of
fun
fish.
hats.
Farmers Only.
Farmers
I've heard
only.
about that. Have you guys been on there?
Why would I be on there?
Not a farmer, Bessie.
Yeehaw, but no thank you.
My friends are recommending that I do go to rodeos. They're saying, "Oh, cowboys are so nice." And I'm like, but is it bad that I'm brown? Like, you know, like that's what I think about. That's something I genuinely think about. So I like grew up in a suburb where it was very it was like dominant Caucasian, and so the boys in my grade didn't really like me because I wasn't blonde hair, blue eyed. And so that's kind of the perception I have going into dating of like, oh, but like, would those type of people like me? Because I've never gotten attention on Hinge, on any apps. I've never gotten attention from a cowboy. So look, you like what you like, but just seeing that patterns are repeating themselves, you know, I'm gonna call it like I see.
I've been told to look at golf course clubs. What would you call that? Like a clubhouse or at a golf course? And then I'm like, yeah, but then I'm stuck with somebody who plays golf. No, I'm just kidding. But like, it's hard to go out because I'm not a club person. I'm also not a big drinker. So it's like, where do you go? And maybe this is a question for you. Like, now that you've heard us talk about all these things, like, where should we be going if we're going to try doing this in the wild? Because I'm about to delete these apps. I don't know about you, but every time I think about it, I'm like, well, then what am I doing? Because Whole Foods is not working, and I don't belong to a country club or a golf course. Where do you meet people if it's not at a club or at a bar here in Vegas? Because like that seems to be the place, right?
Yeah, so there's like jokes online of like, oh, you need to go to Home Depot and act confused, and then like a man will help you or whatever.
give
Like,
me a break.
I know how to do more things than most of the people at Home Depot.
right. It's just a big old like joke of like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of these dating apps. I'm about to go walk around confused in Home Depot. But like another thing is like you could always go to happy hour and like get like discounted food or whatever. And I'm not gonna name a place, but let's do a nice bar that also serves food that is in a nice part of town. That's mostly what people are saying online is like, because who frequents those bars? Who can go to a nice bar on a Thursday at 3 p.m.? People with money, because money is time. So if you go there, order yourself a little whatever, get a little mocktail, and people say better results when you're by yourself than with friends because people don't like to approach groups, you know?
I've thought about it. Do you think that like perhaps a steakhouse at a locals casino is like a good place to go? Because I've thought about it a couple of times because I live so close.
I
And-
say go for it.
Yeah.
Right, what's the worst that can happen? You get a meal.
Yeah,
You have a nice little self date.
I guess so. Yeah, but you can't really be doing anything. You can't be like on your phone, or you have to look out and engage and actually like talk to people.
Talk to the bartender. Like sit at the bar, talk to the bartender, engage in conversation. Say there's another person a few seats down that's also by themselves, and you could pull them in the conversation. Oh, well, what do you think? What's your In-N-Out order?
Have you ever done that?
No.
Have you ever done that? No. And that's why we're on the apps.
I text Alyssa being like, let's go. And she's like, okay. And then we don't.
So you've never gone on a date after an organic meeting?
No, the people who I've dated in real life almost exclusively have been organic meeting. But ever since moving to Vegas, no, because it's a lot harder to meet organically in this city, I feel. In New York City, you meet people on the street, you're walking, you're on the subway. Everybody's in their car here. And again, it's such a small, tight-knit community. And most people are already snatched up.
Yeah.
There's like a very small amount of actual people who live here. I don't think people realize that.
Yeah. And like also say I'm downtown and a person approaches me and we chat and we give each other, you know, our Instagrams because like you said, Vegas is such a small, like tight-knit community. I look and 3 of my female friends are mutuals with them. And I go, dang it. I message them, send them the profile. Hey, I met this person at wherever. Like, you know, what do you know? Oh, he dated my cousin. He's trash. No. I'm like, dang it.
no.
So, yeah, word gets around. So if you're a bad person, I will know.
I mean, I've met a couple people at bars. Like sometimes I'll go downtown and just
Yeah?
get a drink alone, and I'll meet a couple people, but never really worked out.
Yeah, my thing is like my person isn't at a bar or a club, but maybe like a happy hour is a little bit like for food and stuff. That's probably more my person. Yeah, it's difficult these days, and nobody. I also think, and I don't know if this is like kosher. You can feel free to edit this out, but I think guys are also so much more cautious to approach you in the real world, thanks to like just the climate of like women accusing men of things all the time, and no guy wants to be like harassing someone when it's like, no, please come bother me in the grocery store because you know what I mean. Like that's what I would. It's difficult.
bother
It's a
me in
fine
Home
line.
Depot.
I think guys are scared. You know. So you have to be really obvious that you want them to approach you. You have to be like, you know,
Hey.
and then you look a little too long and then they're repulsed. So
They go to the next aisle over.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned other cities. Have you used the apps in other cities that you travel to?
Yes.
Yes.
Thoughts?
For me, I've actually had a lot of matches like in the East Coast because I actually go every fall. It's just hard because of the distance, but I have met a lot of good people, to be honest. I just can't do that long distance.
Yeah, no, same. I'm not looking for a long distance thing, but sometimes I'll just change my location to meet up so that I have somebody to go do things with in that city. But it's never with the intention of like a maybe long term thing. So my parameters of like who I'll accept in a different city are a little bit different than here.
Yeah. Like, I would say, I don't know, like my dating experience isn't super expansive, I would say. But whenever I do go to a new city, say LA, say, I don't know, like other place, like Texas or something, I will hop on just to see what the dating scene is like. And the best success, and I didn't go on any dates, but the most interaction, the most meaningful and like actual nice conversations I've had was in Vancouver, Canada.
Oh,
wow.
Canadians.
They like, you know, the stereotype, like, oh, Canadians are
Love
nice.
Canadians.
Like, it was actually like surprising. Oh, interesting. These are heavy.
I know. Like, dang.
Yeah.
These are heavy. But yeah, Canadians. So I was in Vancouver for like 4 days before I went on a cruise, and I decided, you know what? Let's hop on Bumble and let's just see what dating like in Canada is like. When I tell you, I woke up to 50 messages, and they were all like, "Hi Talia, how are you doing? I love that picture of you doing this. What's your day looking like? I'd love to take you out sometime. What do you like to like?" It's like full on thought out sentences, and I know bare minimum, but when I tell you Vegas dating is hey compared to I like this about you, we should do this because your profile says this, it's a night and day difference. And it was that times 50 every day I opened up the app. And it was crazy. And it was like also people in professions that I like or whatever, like they're in like tech, they're in finance, and so they have their own things going on, and it's not like, oh, I work nightlife or, you know, something like that. We find a lot of nightlife here in this city, and so it's like cool to see all these different industries. And Vancouver, like, it's like a high cost of living there, so in order to live in the city you need to be doing something that meets that income. And so the fact that these people have their own careers, they're willing to take me out, and they're like, oh, if you're comfortable with it, I would love to pick you up, but if not, I can definitely meet you there, or I can call you an Uber or just something. It's like the hospitality was very much different. And although I didn't go out with anybody there, I noticed that like people like that really do exist. And I made a joke to my family that my husband actually lives in Vancouver. So if I just all of a sudden have a Canadian citizenship, you know why.
Guess we're due for a trip.
Right. And my parents moved to Washington last week, so
Or like
There you
maybe another
go.
cruise.
right. Oh, are we trying this?
We all
I
did.
didn't know,
I
'cause
tried it,
I
but
know how to
I
buy
was
it.
yapping.
It's okay. It's okay.
I like the texture of this one the best, but the flavor the least.
The flavor the least. Okay.
Maybe not the least, but
I get what you're saying.
you see what I'm saying?
A little light.
The glaze is interesting.
Yeah, I was like,
The texture is perfection, though.
I can taste powdered sugar. Like with the other glazes, I was like, oh, nice. But this one, I can literally taste the granules of powdered sugar on this.
Yeah. That one, it's pillowy, though.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
She's a
very
pillowy girl.
fluffy.
I'm going to run through some questions,
Do
and
it.
then we'll do a reveal for the donuts. Unlike me, all of you have an Amazon page. What's the results been like for you having these, and should every influencer be doing an Amazon page?
Mine hasn't been as much success, just very light, to be honest. But always better ways to make more income, right?
I mean, I like it. I want to do it more. It is so low effort for potential for high reward. TikTok Shop, same way. I mean, I like it. I also like having an Amazon wish list, to be honest with you. You never know who wants
As a
to
stranger
send you something.
sent you anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, all
Do
the
that.
time.
Oh,
All the time.
okay.
I
Wow.
don't push my Amazon storefront. I actually mostly make it from like you guys. You guys are like, oh, send me the link, send me the affiliate link. Like you guys are like so awesome with that. You're like, oh, what is that? And I'm like, oh, I got it on Amazon. Send me the affiliate link. I'm like, okay. And the thing is, it's usually my light, which is like $75. So I make like a decent amount of commission on it every time. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are like the best. Like it's really cool. And I've thought about trying to plug it a little bit more often. It just really depends. Like I need to like really like hone in on what I really want to accomplish this year.
All right, cool. If you're comfortable answering, name a famous person that would look like your ideal type. No.
I don't. Well, the thing is, I don't. Because the thing is, people ask me, "What's your type?" I don't know. For me, and I said this. Okay. Goodness gracious. Literally said this to Shaq because he asked me, oh, like, when's the last time you had a boyfriend? And I was like, last year. And I was like, is that too short? And he looked at me and said, that's too long. I was like, oh. And he was like, what kind of guy you like? And he also was mic'd up and had cameras on him. So I'm like, not going to say something dumb. Like, and so I just said, I like personality, which is true. It very much, because I can't be with someone who's boring. And I'm like, I like someone with personality. And he was like, okay, stands up and points someone out and brings them over and was just like, she's single, you want her Instagram? And he like low-key tried to like set me up. And so yes, I definitely go for personality, but I like someone that doesn't mind dressing nicely. Like, not just like, oh, well, I just really like my flip-flops and shorts. Like, I like someone that's like, oh, you know, there's a different setting for like a different outfit for every setting and is willing to experiment with their style. Like I said, open-mindedness, you know, like is current with it, that type of deal. I don't know, that's me. So I guess my type is someone that is open-minded and has personality.
I can't think of a celebrity. Like,
Yeah, I can't think of
Okay.
personality.
Well, I can think of like 5.
Oh, go ahead, drop them.
No. But here's the thing. You're right. Everybody listening is gonna go personality. Yeah, the fuck right.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's true because you can be the hottest thing on 2 legs, but if your personality blows, it's such a boner killer. Like I'm sorry, it just is. But conversely, I really hope that none of my exes are gonna watch this. But almost every long-term relationship I've had is somebody who, if I saw them on an app, I probably wouldn't have swiped on them.
Oh.
And it's because their personalities were incredible and they had swag, and somebody can be incredibly sexy and it could take it from just like, maybe you're not very photogenic, but in person you're a vibe. And that's why I feel like dating apps don't work for me, because I'm all about the vibe, and you can't, unless the profile is so expertly curated, it's not easy to convey on an app. So you're totally right. Personality is everything. But if I had to pick a list, Chris Evans in Infinity War with the longer hair and like the dark beard and the dark features. I go for like darker vibes,
Oh, nice.
but I'm not picky.
He's a handsome man.
He is, and he's also no longer single, so it's whatever, it's fine.
Psychology Today said these are some signs that couples may be unhappy on social media. I'd like you to rate these 1 through 10 as a key sign.
I already know exactly what my number
All right.
one would be.
1 is excessive content. The couples keep on taking selfies, and that makes them look like they're actually in an unhappy relationship because they keep posting.
100%.
Really?
The couple that is the least happy is the couple that is trying to prove to you how happy they are. Period. End of story. The people who are very unassuming, it's not 100% of the time, but the people who are super unassuming, it's because they're good.
Yeah, they're secure.
Yeah, all the time. And I was one of those people. Whenever my relationship was going south, I'd be like, oh my God, I love you so much. You're the light of my life. You're this, you're that, blah, 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 blah. And meanwhile, we're like fighting all the time. And it felt true when I was typing it, but it feels performative because you're almost trying to convince yourself how happy you are when you're not really. I don't know.
But there's also like couples that are going through the honeymoon stage, you know? So
They
they're
just
like
wanna share their
constantly sharing each other
excitement.
in the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning.
I don't think it's like that later down the road for sure.
No.
So are we rating on like a 1 to 10 and that's so true? Or
10, yeah, you would say like 10 is automatic, like unhappy on social media.
I would give that like a 9.
yeah, I would say like an 8 for sure.
yeah,
Like, it's up
7.
there.
Interesting. I never thought of it that way. So like 10 years down the road, they say, I love you. You're like the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Then
The longer the paragraph, the worse they're doing.
When they say we've had our ups and downs.
Correct.
right, that's true.
Do you know who's super happy? Blake Lively and whatever his name is, Ryan Reynolds.
Right, oh,
Ryan
yeah.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
Because their whole thing on social media is like them making fun of each other. That's how you know they're really in love. It's not performative. It's just like everything's an inside joke because they have inside jokes to share. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The longer the paragraph, the more they're trying to convince the whole world and themselves. That's my opinion.
Well, I'm going to look at this totally differently now. So my friends.
Let's see.
What if they stop posting altogether with their partner? Is that a sign of relationship issue?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna put that as a 5 in the middle because it could go either way. Maybe
Either
you're
way.
so secure in your relationship you don't need to like tell the whole world how happy you are. But then other times it could just be like maybe this like one of the people or both the people are a little sketch and they don't want their partner on their page. It just really depends on the person. So I'm gonna put like right in the middle at a 5.
Same.
Yeah.
Deleted content.
What do you mean, like delete and come back?
There used to be like a photo where they're kissing or something like.
Oh, 10.
Oh yeah, like they're done
10.
for.
10, that's
Like
all.
people
Why?
go through things of like, oh, they broke up, and like it's like a common thing on TikTok where it's like, oh, checking the couple that's been together for 10 years to see if they still follow each other on Instagram. You know, like people are like get invested into the relationships. So if you delete the picture, something's happening.
Yeah, like why do you delete it?
Right. Like even if you're going through a rough patch, I feel like you need to be in a certain place in your relationship to like you don't need to do that as a way to get back at your partner. Like be mature about it. And you can keep that up because you still love them, you want to work it out. Like don't be like, well, I've deleted all your pictures anyway. You know?
I would never do that. I have all of my ex-boyfriend's pictures still up on my profiles because that was a part of my story. And if you know me, you know that that's not this chapter, but I'm not going to just erase it for any. Maybe it's because my breakups were mostly amicable, but I feel like that's just kind of petty. I don't know. But I guess everybody has the right to do whatever they want, whatever makes them feel okay with the situation, I guess.
Right.
But I could see some significant others asking who they're dating currently to take down the exes. Maybe.
I could
Oh,
see
like
that.
the current
Yeah.
person?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like say you start dating someone new and you're like, hey, I see you have your ex on there and it doesn't make me comfortable. Like, I wonder if I were to step in that situation, how I would feel. I haven't encountered that yet, mostly because the dudes I guess I talk to aren't really big on social media. But I would say it would make me personally uncomfortable. I don't know, but that's literally me.
I mean, I'd be okay if they asked me to delete it.
I wouldn't.
And that's okay.
All right. Best cuisine for a dinner date, in your opinion?
Something that isn't a salad, something that's not messy to eat. Oh, someone has told me that they take their dates to Korean barbecue on the first date because they want to see who cooks. Because it's like a power dynamic thing. And to me, that was red flag. Like, what about equal? Like, you know? But
I like
yeah.
sushi
Okay.
Sushi's
because like
nice.
that's how you can tell like where they're at palate wise.
Can you use chopsticks?
And like, what do you go for? Like, are you doing like a cream cheese roll? Are you doing like,
Sashimi.
yeah, you know what I mean? And there's no no shade on either of those, but
Yes, there is.
You get. I know that there is for you, Phil. A little cream cheese never hurt nobody. Sometimes, but
Let me pop a Jerry pill.
if we're only ordering California rolls, then that kind of is an indicator. I don't know. I think Korean barbecue is fun because it's both food and an activity.
Right. I think it's fun.
I like it.
I'm usually the one that cooks though. In all settings. Like I've never gone on a Korean barbecue first date.
neither.
For me, it's something like, and okay, I don't know if you guys do this, but I look at menus beforehand especially when I go on a date because I want to kind of figure out what I want to order, and also because I don't know, I don't want to get sauce all over my face. I don't want to eat ribs. Like that's really messy. My mom told me don't eat salad on a first date because you're like, oh, sorry, I got dressing all over my face. Oh, it just dropped on me. That vinaigrette just stained my shirt. Like, so just something that's easy, like steak and potatoes. Like that's easy. You can cut it up into small bites. Like you can still converse without having a full mouth of food. That's literally what I think of. Like, don't look at the food in my mouth.
I had this guy tell me that he takes girls to Korean barbecue for their first date because he wants to see how much they can eat. Like,
What?
like with the mouth do. I was like, what?
That's
So
crazy.
How does that determine?
Male gaze.
Yeah, it's a male gaze thing again. That's gross.
I wish we had a man on.
I know.
No, we gotta do
I
a
know.
part 2.
Maybe I do a part 2, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard to find.
A single
has to
dude.
be a
I can
couple.
outsource. I don't know how,
Okay.
but I will somehow figure it out.
There has to be some.
And then finally, love or hate a movie date.
Hate.
Hate.
I like it, but not for a first date.
Is this like setting a first date?
First date for sure, or just in general, either way.
First date, no. Another date, yes. Because I've already gotten that whole icebreaker thing with you. With a movie, it's like you're kind of like focusing, and then also you figure out, are you a talker during the movie? Are you not a talker during the movie? And it depends on what they are. Because for me, I don't mind making little jokes or what kind of, I don't want to watch an intense movie for the first date because I will cry. I am so empathetic. I will like try to look away. So and like we can't talk. There's no connection. Like we're just sitting next to each other and just like watching a movie. But if it's like a second date and like we're more comfortable and I can like be like, oh my gosh, what were they thinking for that outfit choice? Like that looks terrible. And then if they can respond back, we're good. But not first date for me.
I love movie dates and I love going to the movies. So like I like being able to have a conversation about it after, and that'll tell you a lot about the person too. But I've also usually tried to plan the movie for it's been out for a while or it's the last showing of the day, because then it's just you, and then that's super fun when it's just you two and your little recliners and you're just talking as loud as you want because nobody else is there. That's a vibe. It's a really fun date. But yeah, not for a first date. It's too difficult. You can't get to know somebody.
Right.
Yeah, you can't really, talk.
Yeah, but the after movie part is really fun.
All right, good to know. So we got to kind of wrap it up here. Talls, if you would like to go first, what was your ranking of the donuts?
I actually rated C highest.
Okay,
Second place was A.
okay.
Third place was B. And last place was D.
All right. Samantha?
I think, weirdly, I'm putting B as first place
Oh,
because I kind of liked that it was like a little bit of everything. Perfect sweetness. I liked the texture. You have to like a cake donut though. A was second place. It's your quintessential, basic, exactly what you're looking for when you get a glazed donut. Then D is third, even though it had the weird sort of glaze on it, but the texture was there. I felt like C didn't really hit in any way, which is so funny because wasn't that your first choice?
Yeah, it was my first choice. That was the twisty one, right?
Yeah, I thought it was dry. There wasn't enough glaze on it to me.
Okay. So the ball I had first. So nope, So this B was first for me, just overall flavor, and then I don't know the order. This one was next for me, and then the twist, and then the ball.
That's D.
Sorry, I'm like I don't know which
A.
one was
Wait,
which.
say that again.
B, D,
B D
C.
C A.
Okay.
BDCA.
I wrote it down for you,
BDCA.
Phil.
okay.
Sorry,
I don't know. I don't know what
I
happened.
lost internet.
Yeah, I don't know what
B
happened.
D C A.
Okay, I'm gonna go A, D, B, C. A with the quintessential donut, and it had the right amount of like softness and fluffiness to it. Where D was just no C. I gotta.
I wrote it
Now,
down.
like which one did we have?
Yeah, C was
The
like
twisty.
the twisty, the old bread one.
Yeah.
and that
I guess
wasn't
I
good
like
at all.
bread. Which, no, I've never denied not liking bread. But yes, I liked it.
But now I don't know which ones they are. Maybe I have to go to my phone.
Oh, because you had the reveal
I
on
had
your
it.
computer?
Yes.
Oh,
Uh,
I like this one. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the
That was
ball.
my number one.
Yeah, I didn't like the ball.
okay.
Yeah.
So there's no real agreement.
Right.
I think
It was funny. Like
We all like
you guys
B.
had A at number 2.
A was my number 2.
Yeah, and then Alyssa had it last.
I had the ball first,
Okay.
so that was last.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So so the worst one, I guess, was no, that's not true.
Because that's her number one.
I lost my number one.
That's her
It's
number
okay.
one.
It's okay.
That's
Okay.
supposed to show you. Like,
So C was Coco's Donuts. They have 2 locations, Rainbow and Cheyenne. It's right by Greenberry. And it was actually the cheapest of the donuts. It was $5.80 for 4.
Well, wait, can we do A to D so that I can like
Okay, all right. A was LV Donuts on Fort Apache.
oh, okay.
Yeah, they're open 5:30 to 3 p.m., $6 for 4. B was Glaze on Fort Apache, more famously known for the Keith Lee post about them. Those are actually the most expensive donuts. They were $8 for 4.
Wow.
they tasted like that to me.
Okay. C was Coco's Donuts, and then D was Winchell's, the home of the warm and fresh donut, which it wasn't either. But West Coast's largest donut, and super old school for Vegas, and so that was D.
Yeah, good texture, weird glaze.
All right.
Interesting.
This was really fun. I don't know why my computer completely crapped out. Any last thoughts about... Here's what I learned. Okay, guys need to make more effort. They're super
Right.
lazy.
Goodness gracious.
And I don't know. It sounds like to me they probably have like 12 DMs going on and they don't stick to one.
We would like to know.
I'm guilty of that too, though. I think
Yeah.
that's just an everybody thing. If you want it, then go for it. I think I think we all need to make more effort to meet people in the real world. I think that's the bottom line, and take a chance. If you're interested in somebody, be friendly, don't be weird, but like be friendly. You never know.
Exactly. You never know. I don't know. The thing is, like, there's been a discussion that dating apps have kind of become like slots, where it's like, oh well, you never know. I could get the next hit. You know, I could win with this next one. And so that's kind of created like a standard in dating of like, well, if it doesn't work out with you, then I'll probably meet someone else. Like that, it gives this feeling of like you're disposable. You know, and I believe that goes for all sides. And so it just like you need to, like you said, make more effort. Like see who they are really as a person, because you only have like 5 seconds to make or less to make an impression on your dating profile.
I think that we all need to get off the apps.
Agreed. Yeah. More organic. I think we're coming back into the organic era for
We're
sure.
getting tired
Yeah.
of it, yeah. And all that being said, I will be open to DMs in this rare
have more followers.
occasion. Mention that you don't have to follow me, but just DM me and mention that you saw this podcast, and then I will entertain it more thoroughly because you've been vetted by having to listen to this whole thing.
I actually wanted to mention this. Do you guys get emails?
For dates?
Yes.
No.
I have received emails of men shooting their shot of like, nice to meet you. My name is so-and-so. I do this, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you'll see this, but you know, I would love to take you out. I'm a Vegas local. Or someone that's like, I come to Vegas all the time. And then they'll put a picture and be like, if you're interested, reply, or here's my number. And I'm like, what? And then other times people have like sent me money with a message attached. And it's like, just get yourself something nice. I'm a Vegas local. I'd love to meet you. And I'm like, oh my goodness, emails. I got one today.
I
So do
love
you
the
respond?
Venmo slide. That's it. Add Samantha Souza as my Venmo. You'll definitely get a response from me that way.
If you want a response, send the money.
Dang.
unless
That's initiative.
Oh my god.
if they wanted to, they would.
But I kind of like that, right? Attach photo with the email. It's not
Little
bad.
elevator pitch.
Leave it open. And then Bumble, the women choose. the
Yeah,
guys
they make the
whole
first
time.
move. They have to say hello first.
Okay. Is that better or worse?
I hate it.
Okay.
I usually
not on
opt
it.
for it
She's
because
on it.
yeah, I don't have it anymore, but I would opt for it because I don't know. I feel like I talk the most anyway, so I just say hi there or hey, what's up, and it always gets the conversation going. I don't know.
I always go, so and so, there you are. 2 exclamation points.
Oh,
It's just enough, but not too much effort.
that.
Because I think if the girl tries too hard, it's not cute.
Well, then they're just like, well, I got him. Power.
I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's an interesting idea to have the women have agency, but I think it's actually made guys lazier because now it's like, no, you come to me now. It's totally shifted what it was initially created to be. So, but I'm willing to cast a wider net, I guess.
And then the other idea that I'm thinking when you guys match and there's no communication ever, is it maybe just like an ego boost for the other person, like a video game?
I definitely get an ego boost when I'm like, oh, I match with them, and if I find them objectively attractive, I'm like, yay! So like maybe I like like pairs with like. Okay, I'm on their level. So I don't know. For me, it does, but I anything other than Bumble, I don't typically make the first move because I want to see if they want to put in the effort.
Yeah, I think that's why I kind of stayed away from it. It was just harder for me to do that every single time. So that's why I kind of geared towards Hinge.
I don't think that it's an ego boost for me. I more look at it as like if they wrote a message, because on Hinge, they can choose to either just like your photo or they can be like a comment on one of your photos. That to me is the first message. So if you've already messaged, then I'll respond with a message. But if you've just liked my stuff, then I'll accept it. And then I still expect you to make the first move because you haven't done anything yet. But if you've messaged with a message, then I will respond immediately. To me, it's like, oh, you've already made the effort. So I will match your energy in that sense. But more than likely, if they just put like and you liked them back, what is that an indicator of? They barely put in any effort already. So what am I going to expect effort after that? Maybe, but half the time they never message you after that. And that tells me a lot more about them by them doing nothing. So, okay. And sometimes they do message you and then it's cool. But yeah, I don't know.
Fascinating.
Isn't it though?
It is.
Isn't
it is.
it?
I'd love to have a panel guys kind of where their perspective is, because maybe they might say it's too much work. I don't know.
Let's find.
I would
we need
love
a
to
man.
find out.
If that's
Yeah.
too
I really
much work,
would.
then you're not for me because I'm extra.
But it's really not too much work. You just have to have a conversation,
For some people,
communication. But a lot of people have problem like communicating.
The problem is when you treat it like a game, because then it is just like, oh, I collected one more. I'm not on here for a game and I'm not on here for entertainment. Like, I'm looking for the real deal. And if you're somebody who's going to be lazy or you're looking to collect them all like a Pokemon, then like, yeah, I'm kind of glad you didn't message me after all. So I'd be really curious to see how guys view it, though. You should definitely do a follow-up and make them watch this one before answering their things so that they
can
can
do
see
that
our
homework.
perspective and have commentary on it, because we could be totally wrong, but this is how it's being perceived. So if you don't want to be perceived that way, then maybe adjust your game. And it goes both ways, so.
Yeah, and even with all this, I have met a lot of couples that did meet on apps and they're still together after
100%.
years and years. So it definitely can work.
right.
But yeah, thank you for sharing.
Thanks for having
Thanks for
us.
letting us
Well,
trauma dump.
Yes.
Yeah, and for the donut.
And I got donuts too.
And yeah, really appreciate you being on. It was very insightful. And till next week, I'll see you. Or next month. I don't know.